it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be doing a, what am I doing? A November TBR. Wow, struggles. So, I have already actually filmed this video. I also wore this exact same outfit, except for the headband because I had just gotten my hair done. But I was going to put my little TBR, my post-it note here, and I was watching through the footage and I was like, I don't think this is entirely accurate, so I decided to refilm it. Here we are. That first one was filmed closer to the beginning of October. Now we're near the end of October, so I know more of like what I was able to read in October, and I have kind of planned this out accordingly. So let's just actually get into it. So for example, I am presently reading Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. However, there's a very good chance that I might have to put this one down, unfortunately. I have a couple of books that I have to read for an event that I'm moderating, and that event is coming up quickly. It's on November 4th. If you guys haven't seen, I can't remember when I'm putting this video up, but if it hasn't happened already, I'll have the information down below for you guys. But because of that, I need to read those, and I think I might have to put this down, and I'm really sad about it because I was actually like getting invested in the story, but I just don't think it's our time right now. Like, it may have been, but I think with circumstances, it's not our time. We're in a complicated relationship, okay? So because of that, this has found its way to my November TBR, because what was going to be on my November TBR was Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco, but this found its way to me early. I wasn't expecting it. It was supposed to come out October 27th, but lo and behold, I have it early, which is great because I think it's going to be perfect for October and spookiness, so I want to try and squeeze this in. So yeah, this is kind of a chaotic TBR video, but the last time I filmed this, I didn't plan anything ahead of time. I just kind of was like this, but now I have actually thought about it, so I feel like it makes a little bit more sense. Another book that's definitely on this TBR but isn't out yet, I will like probably have it by the time you guys see this video because it comes out October 27th, and that is Crazy Stupid Bromance by Lyssa K. Adams. So this is the latest installment in the Bromance book club series. Struggles, but this is following, I can't remember who the love interest is, but I know that the female character is the girl who lived in the cafe, or not lived in, wow, the girl who worked in the cafe from the last book. So I can't remember who the guy is, and I think it's also because I'm distracted by the fact that the next one, I can't remember the title, but they just released the cover for it and everything. It's not my favorite cover, but that one is following the Russian, which we're all very excited about. So this series is just so fun. It's about this book club with a bunch of Nashville's elite top men, and they read romance novels and just like shamelessly, and I just think it's amazing. So I really enjoy those books, and I'm kind of feeling the adult romance right now because in October and kind of in September, I started getting back into fantasy, and then in October, I was reading a lot of like spooky stuff, so I'm feeling kind of more of the lighter reads. Like I read Coraline in October and I still can't stop thinking about it, and I can't stop having nightmares about it. That was the worst decision of my life, but yeah, that happened. So anyways, I do have like quite a few adult romances on here, and I also do have some repeats from my end of the year TBR video. I'll have that link down below for you guys, but as I was planning out the TBR originally, I had just filmed that end of the year TBR, so I was really conscious of not repeating, but I just don't think it was accurate, so I just kind of am like, whatever. I know it annoys a lot of you guys when I repeat books, but I do so many videos that I'm bound to repeat books, so I'm sorry. Most of these though are new to this video. This has been like just an intro, but also the video. It's a really weird experience, this filming right now. But anyways, next is I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. So I haven't really had time to jump into the new manuscript that I've been wanting to write. That's kind of my plan for January, because I mean, maybe in December, but this is just a super busy time of year with me trying to read a bunch of my October reads and with me trying to pre-film, so then I'll be able to pre-film for Bookmas and also planning for Bookmas. So it's just, this time of year is a lot, so I just haven't had the time. But I do know that I want to jump back into writing, and I'm kind of in like an interesting place with my writing, as you guys know if you watched that one video that I did, but basically I'm just in an interesting place of being on submission, and it's horrible. So I think that this could be a good book to read. It's the author of 101 Dalmatians, which I didn't know was an actual book, but lo and behold, what do you know? But it follows a girl who is living in a castle, and she is a writer herself, and she's just filling these journals, and that's why I feel like it seems like something that would be good to read right now, something about a writer. Like if I hadn't read Beach Read, it would probably be a good time to read that too. I just kind of want to read something about craft. So I feel like I've heard some good things about this one and we'll see. Next is Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. I for sure mentioned this on my end of the year TBR, but it is the sequel to Skyward and I have put it off all year long. So I don't know how many big books I'll really be able to get to in November because I'm planning on starting my filming for Bookmas on the 17th or 18th, but I would definitely like to try and get to this one. I think that it is high time that I read it since it's been out for like a year now and I love these characters so much. Like when I started reading it again, I was getting right back into the banter and everything and absolutely adored it. So I'm not really sure why I've put this off for so long. Next, like I said, adult romances. There's quite a few of them here. So Well Met by Jen DeLuca. I have the sequel to this, or companion, I would imagine, and I haven't read this first one, which feels kind of ridiculous. So this is an adult romance that is set at a Renaissance fair, and that's not really something I know a lot about, to be honest. It's not really a world I've ever gotten involved in, but I've heard just such amazing things about these books that I can't wait to read it. Next is Don't Read the Comments by Eric Smith. So this is kind of another book that like has to do with what I do, kind of like I Capture the Castle. I don't know if that really made any sense, but this follows a really famous gamer who is dealing with some really horrible comments on her streams, and I just feel like lately, just since I've been so down in the dumps, like comments have been getting to me a lot, so I think reading something like this now might also be really helpful. Like it's just one of those things where I know I shouldn't read them and shouldn't take them to heart, but you know, I do, and it's hard not to. It's just kind of a thing. Also, YouTube Studio isn't helping because I haven't really talked about this in a video. I talked about it on Instagram, but YouTube Studio is horrible because I'm just gonna go off on a tangent really quickly. You can just skip through it if you don't want to hear it. But when you open the app, which I will, to respond to comments, the very first thing that it shows you is like, this video is poorly performing, or your subscribers aren't interested in it. Like basically this thing that you worked really hard on, no one wants to watch it, which is so horrible. So I have had like extreme anxiety opening the app, but I want to respond to comments and I want to keep an eye on the comments, but it's also a horrible experience. So I realized a lot of my anxiety was coming from that. So that was just a revelation. If that's also an issue for you, maybe consider deleting the app. It's not something you can opt out of, unfortunately, but I'm probably just gonna delete the app at some point. I haven't yet, but yeah. Basically this deals with kind of being a presence on social media. I don't really know how to say that, but I've heard amazing things about this book as well, so I'm definitely intrigued by it. Next is Real Men Knit by Kwana Jackson. This is another adult romance, but it is all about this knitting shop that the main male character is trying to keep alive, and I just think that sounds so cute. I'm not really into knitting myself or anything crafty like that. I would get way too frustrated, but it does sound really, really adorable and like the perfect backdrops for an amazing romance. Next is The Start of Me and You by Emery Lord. So I also kind of want to get back into some YA contemporaries because I've read quite a few fantasies and those sorts of things lately, and I don't want to burn myself out with them. So I think getting to some of the contemporaries that have been on my TBR for a while now would be great. This one hasn't really been on it for a while, but it has been on my radar for quite a while. So this follows a girl. It's going to be more of an emotional one because it follows the main character whose boyfriend has died, and she's finally going back to school now, and she's trying to prove to everyone that she's okay, that there's nothing wrong. So she is just going to go through this list and try and do all these things, and one of them is to get a boyfriend, to convince everyone that everything is okay. I think this is definitely going to be kind of a difficult read dealing with grief, but it has survived like being a reprinted edition and everything, so I would like to know why so many people love these books. Next is When You Were Everything by Ashley Woodfolk. This is another contemporary that is probably going to be a little bit more of a difficult read because it deals with something that's kind of hard to deal with in general, and that's friendship breakups. But I've said this like every time I show this book because I really do think it's something that needs to be written about more. Friendship breakups happen all the time and they can be very difficult. It's just you drift apart from people, sometimes things happen, but a lot of times you just grow apart and that's totally fine, but it doesn't really make it any less painful. So I love the fact that I have two books actually on my TBR. No, the other one I didn't pick up. the other one I have like on my radar as well. But I'm glad that I have this book that's dealing with that topic, because I think it is something really, really important, especially for the YA genre, because as you're growing up and like in high school and going to university, people are going to just drift apart, and that's just totally natural, and I love the fact that there are books about it. Next up is The How and the Why by Cynthia Hand. So this is going to be another emotional read. I don't know why I'm going with all the emotional books right now, but I have had a really pleasant experience with a lot of Cynthia Hand's books that I have read before, and this one sounds right up my alley. So it follows a girl who is living a really great life. She has this wonderful adoptive family, but she also wants to know some more about her biological mother. So it's told alternating between her discovering more of that side of her identity and letters from her biological mother when she was pregnant with her. I am kind of reminded of Far From the Tree by Robin Benway here, which I super enjoyed. I think is very underrated, and I really haven't heard all that much about this one as well, so I hope that'll be another underrated book that I can let you guys know about. Next is Simmer Down by Sarah Smith. This is a food truck centered romance. It just sounds like everything chef's kiss. You get it, chef? Ooh, I keep on having puns whenever I'm talking about this book. I don't know what it is, but I actually have this author's other book on my TBR that I haven't read yet, but this one kind of appeals to me a little bit more just because of the food truck element. So the main character is working with her mother at their Filipino food truck, and I believe they're on a beach. Yeah, so they're trying to feed Filipino dishes to hungry beach growers. Beach goers, not beach growers. I don't know why I said growers. But there's a lot of competition here, so the love interest is one of the competitors at a fellow food truck, and I just think that sounds amazing. Next up is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I really want to try and get to this one because I have heard such amazing things about it, and it definitely has me super, super intrigued. This is about the main character who goes to this university, but it's like a stay away program, and she's trying to escape the grief from losing her mother recently. Now, when she goes to this university, she ends up witnessing this magical thing that she wasn't supposed to see, and the person who performed that tries to wipe her memory, but it's not successful, and it ends up awakening this power in her. So I'm not really sure what to expect from this. I know that it's kind of described as being like City of Bones, and that does sound really cool, very intriguing, and I just have heard nothing but amazing things, so I really want to know what all the hype is about. Speaking of hyped books, let's just get to the other two super hyped books. Actually, there's three, but I'll start with these two. So A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This is a dark academia story, and it's basically the school where you have to survive. Like if you fail, you die. So obviously that's pretty high stakes. The stakes were not like that when I was in high school, obviously. But this is an adult fantasy, and it has a beautiful map. Another book that I've heard some really amazing things about. I don't think I've read all that many dark academia stories. I feel like that's kind of become a buzzword recently, so I can't really think of any others. Like, would Ninth House be dark academia? I don't know. I'll have to look more into it, but I do know that's what people have been saying about this, and I want to know what the hype is. It's one of those books where like I hear about it everywhere, and I'm like, okay, now I need to know if it's as good as everyone's saying. And I feel like I'm not a part of the conversation, and I want to be a part of that conversation. So then I go and buy it, and then I wait forever to read it, and the conversation is done by the time I'm ready to join. Similar situation with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. My copy of this came kind of later than everyone else. Also, I feel like everyone got an arc, and I never got an arc because people were like, why haven't you read it yet? Why haven't you included it in the haul? And I kept on looking because I was like, I didn't think it was out yet. And I checked, and no, it wasn't out yet. So I was just very confused by all of that. But I am behind the times on this one, and I will catch up eventually because I really want to get to this one. Like this one and A Deadly Education and Legendborn, I would say, are at the very top of my TBR right now. Now this follows Addie LaRue, obviously, and her invisible life. Now her life is invisible because she made a deal back in 1714 in France with, I don't know if it's actually the devil. Is it the devil? I don't know. It doesn't really say, but she makes a deal, and her deal is that she gets to live forever, but in exchange for that, she is forgotten by everyone she ever meets. I want to know why she made that deal. I want to know like what's going, it stresses me out, this concept, but it also intrigues me greatly. Also, these two covers remind me of each other, so I keep on getting them mixed up. I don't know. That was just a fun fact for you that you didn't need to know, didn't add anything to the video. yet now you know. You're welcome. Next is Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. So I read Chloe Brown earlier this year and I liked it. I think my expectations were a little bit too high, but this one I really haven't heard that much about, so I think my expectations are a little bit lower, especially knowing how I felt about Chloe Brown. Like, Chloe Brown was super cute, but I didn't feel like there was as much going on as I generally like in my romance. However, I loved the sisters, and I think that this one might appeal to me a little bit more. This one isn't really an enemies to lovers, which isn't my favorite, and I just generally don't love, so I'm not sure what trope this one really is, or if it is one, but oh, is it fake dating? Their relationship is all for show, right? I love fake dating, so this one I think I definitely might have better luck with. Next up is Invictus by Ryan Graudin. I'm pretty sure, maybe I didn't, but I think that I included this on my end of the year TBR because I've read so much Ryan Graudin this year, and by so much I mean I read the Wolf by Wolf duology and I loved it, so it has made me want to read the rest of Ryan Graudin, and I think this is the only other book that she has with a publisher. I know she has another book, but I'm not sure if that was self-published or not, but this seems super intriguing, definitely Doctor Who vibes. It's about someone who essentially shouldn't exist, and they are discovered on a routine heist of the sinking Titanic. So like travel, time travel stuff, and I feel like this is going to be a lot of fun. I know that she had said she wrote this after writing Wolf by Wolf because like Wolf by Wolf is so gritty and dark and she needed something a little bit more uplifting, and this is definitely like seems very different than Wolf by Wolf, which totally is gritty and dark, but super good if you haven't read it yet. Highly recommend. And the final book for, oh no it's not, there's definitely another book I wanted to include. Where is it? Okay, I will grab it in a second, but the second to last book is The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. I had debated including this on my October TBR. It just, I don't know if I actually did. I think I saved it for November, but I think this might include some spooky vibes to go into November. Like, not even spooky vibes, but more the fall, you know, the rain thing that I describe all the time, the mug, the blanket, the coziness, all that stuff. It's about an author who is well known for their collection of 12 short stories, but there's this 13th tale that's missing, and it kind of makes me think of Evelyn Hugo in that way, but with an author, so that sounds fun. And the final book for this official TBR, which I mean, we all know I just kind of read whatever I want anyways, but it is A Sky Without Stars by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rendell. I've got a lot of like big beefy chonkers on this TBR, like the big this way and then they're really tall too. Lots of those, so I'm definitely not going to get to all of them, but I would like to try and get to as many as I can, obviously. That's such a stupid statement, but I said it. So this is Les Mis but in space. Definitely an intriguing concept. I have really enjoyed the Jessica Brody books that I've read so far, but they've all been contemporary, so really interested to see how a kind of fantasy sci-fi is gonna go. Ooh, cool. Okay, so that is all for my November TBR. It was quite chaotic, but I am sorry for that. So hopefully I will be able to get to quite a few of these. That will be a nice birthday gift to myself. My birthday's in November. It's November 30th. I don't know why I said birthday like that, but I did. But we shall see what is able to happen. My reading has been going super, super well. I did kind of take a break in mid-October, but I feel like that's good. You kind of need some breaks to recharge. It was unintentional. I didn't really want to, but it just kind of it ended up happening. I was like, nope, can't read anymore. But hopefully in November I will be able to keep up a decent reading pace despite filming for Bookmas. We shall see. But thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do let me know whatever you would like to read in November, and also if you have read any of these books, your thoughts on them so that I can know which ones to prioritize. So thank you so much for watching. I don't know what's happening with my arms right now, but I will see you in my next video soon. Bye!